I don't think anyone ever thought that you could make a house under 100 square meters on The Sims for a family of five. So I put the challenge up and I'm doing a tiny house. The thing is, I already have a shell, and this shell, I don't remember when I created it, but I do know that it was here for a while. So I'm just showing you how I'm furnishing it and talking about it really.
I've realized that this is like the second tiny house I'm doing. I kind of like tiny houses. They always been something that I kind of get inspired from. Even got to the point that I actually have an architecture book about tiny houses. Well, tiny house and containers. So I'm actually doing a container house because I also love like containers. Like even outside of the Sims, I think it's a very cool way and a sustainable way to basically build instead of actually building a whole new house. But back to this design. So, like I said, it was a house for five people. Now you can see that I'm playing and messing around a little bit. It's not very a clear build because I knew that I didn't have an idea for it per se. I just knew that I was an Oasis Spring, and it happened to be the starter tiny home. As you can see, the tiny home started on the name. So I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me actually just revamp it because some Sims moved in. As you know, Sims always decide to move in, however, in any hay. So I was like, let me actually just redesign the house of these Sims because they're way too many for one bedroom. And I kind of like doing these. I don't see many people doing that in a sense where they take the current townies that live in the lot and they just refurbish the house according to the people that live in the lot. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna make it another series because that's not the first again. That's not the first house that I'm doing based on the townie that currently lives in it. So I'm thinking of just adding and doing a lot of these kind of videos. Given that it's a messy build, you're gonna see me going back and forth quite a lot with like my ideas because I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, and I also wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the lot the way it is. As you can see, it's like very like messy, not messy. It's like very bumpy and it's not very smooth and flat. So I was like, oh, maybe I should keep it because it's Oasis Spring, and then you want to keep the idea of like having it very Dune vibes. But then it I kind of run into some troubles if I remember correctly. Like I ran into some troubles around like the designing of the back garden, and I also realized one thing which you'll probably see later on. I completely forgot that these people had a budget. I was just designing for the fun of designing, not really realizing and paying attention until I realized I was on 22,000, which means my garden is not complete, and I don't know when I'm gonna go back to it because I need to let them earn some money. But I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me just leave it as that, and then if I have to come back to it, I might come back to it. But I'm kind of glad that they already have the house. That's the most important, I think. It's kind of a messy build again. I'm thinking of going back to it at some point, so you might see a random video popping up about this build in particular because I generally feel like it was so bad in terms of like organization that I just like, you know what, let me just put it aside for now. And speaking about organization, there's one thing that I tend to do now. I don't know if everybody does this, but I think it's like the background of being an architect. I always sketch out my plans. And for this one, I didn't sketch nothing. So even more reasons for me to say that this is a whole lot mess. Because usually I'm like, I got an idea and stuff. And again, like I said, the video where I prepared the shell is missing. I don't really know where it is. But I knew and I know that I was struggling quite a lot. But I kind of like the shape of it. Like it really intrigued me. I was like, oh, this is something that I really, really like. And by the way, it will change halfway through. Because I remember doing something different. Now, the issue that I have is in real life, these measurements could work, but in The Sims, because it's squares and everything, um, it's kind of problematic. And then your beds, like most of the beds, if you don't have a single bed, they look huge, which means that there's not enough room for um stuff within the rooms. But then again, let's not forget it's also a tiny house, so it makes sense that there's not enough space. But I'm trying to make sure that everything fits perfectly, um, and accordingly, and with the theme as well. Like I was trying to have a theme, an ongoing theme, but I didn't really know what I wanted until I realized that I want to keep it Japandi, and also like earthy tones. So I really want to go with that because Oasis Spring is a lot of earthy tones, and I really like earthy tones and Japandi architecture or interior design style. So I really wanted to keep it on the Japanese side of things. Now I entered into another issue that you're gonna realize very shortly is my living dining kitchen area was so compact and narrow. We gotta remember that it's a room, it's a house for 5 people, which means that you have to make sure that they're comfortable enough to live in that space. As in, we need to have a sofa, we need to have a TV, we need to have a cooking area, and we need to also have an adequate sitting and eating area because I don't like seeing Sims when they eat standing up. And what's funny is that I created the biggest kitchen you'll see. The biggest kitchen. Knowing that it's a tiny house, it's quite big. But I created the biggest kitchen, not knowing that they are all foodies. And mind you, like I said, they're townies. So I just picked up the house and I actually tried to make it better for them. But I was quite astonished to see that what I was doing actually worked out. So moving into the kitchen, as you can see, I'm using the for rent counters. Can I just say they're by far the best counters that Maxis made? Like, it's so stunning, and all the colorways, they are stunning. They're literally to die for. This is what I've been wanting to have without the need to use CCs, because I'm someone that actually use a lot of CCs. Now, every now and again, I will try my best to give you the CCs if I remember the name, and if not, I always put it in the comment section if I remember it at some point or in the edits. But I never find the perfect colors that I want for the vibe that I look for. As you know, I said I love Japandi and Scandinavian kind of vibes, and I love my earthy tones. And there's always this one item that looks really, really good in the color, and you're like, ooh, I feel like it's gonna go in that earthy vibes. And then when you look at it, it's gone completely opposite. It's gone pink or orange or whatever. So I'm kind of glad that these counters came to place. Like, I love them. They're really, 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 really good. I just want to go back to one thing. As you can see, there's this new, I don't know if it's new. I don't know if it's from one of my CCs. I'll have to double check at some point. There's this new under counter fridge, and I love how it looks. It's not really an under counter fridge, it's actually just a fridge on its own. But I love the idea of having it on the counter. The thing is, it pops out, and I've been thinking that and that's probably one of my to-do lists down the line. I'm going to start experimenting with the tool CC in a sense where you can actually just rotate and lower down certain objects or make sure that they actually fit within certain areas, because right now it doesn't feel organic. When you zoom out like I just did, it looks really, really good, but then when you come in or you play into the game, you can see the top playing against with the counter, and I don't really like that. So I think one of my goals this year as well as like showing you my ways of like implementing architecture within my Sims videos is I'm going to try to learn how to use the tool CC. and hopefully I'll get good at it, and hopefully I'll be able to do some crazy stuff I see, like Devin Bumpkin, or who else am I inspired to? Oh, actually, Perry Seam. Pierre Sim is actually pretty good, but he actually just only posted a few videos. So I'm actually looking to kind of have like these vibes. Like they have good vibes. But Devin Pumpkin is by far my go-to speed build. And speaking about go-to simmers and the kind of styles that I go for, I'm also going to mention that I will be using a lot of CCs. Therefore, you should know already what kind of CC custom content creators I'm into. 6am is one of my favorite. They have amazing range of CCs. And then I really like Felix Andre and Harix. And I think these are my go-to. Like these are the three ones that I actually stay with. But then sometimes I go with Pierissim, because he's been, like I said, he used to do videos very little, but he decided to become a custom content creator, just like Felixon. So it's even more reason for me to actually kind of like his vibe as well. And I didn't actually know it was him, because I have so many CCs on my save files of him until I went into his Tumblr page. So yeah, be on the lookout for most of these custom content, but obviously if I get any others, I will put them in the description down below, and I will try to lay them and give you out like the proper names of each packs, because I tend to actually download packs and not just the individual CCs. Well, when it's home, when it's build mode, is usually packs. It's rarely individual items. But for the console users, I'm really trying to keep it very friendly, because I know how it feels like to have a console and play the Sims, and you want like these cool builds, but the CCs and then the builds become just plain. So 90% of the time I will try to remain within the pack I'm working with, but right now, because it's base game and I was just trying to make it look good simply because I like this project, and I was trying to make it simple within their budget. Let's not forget that. That's I'm kind of mixing around with CCs, because I've realized another thing. Why is it that the base game items are like the base game items or the pack items are more expensive than CC items? And that's another reason as to why I actually use CCs, because CCs are much cheaper. Like you can just buy a vase for 20 simoleons, and on base game it will be 300, and I'm like, what? It's practically the same thing. Oh, and another CC that I've realized that I love as well is QI. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, QI. You're gonna see a lot of them in here as well. We are entering one of my favorite parts, which is where I'm starting to add the little details. So right now I'm doing the laptop, for instance, which is a CC as well. I'm gonna start adding a lot of accessories. I love cluster within a Sims household because it makes it look like it's lived in. In the contrary, where in real life I hate cluster, like I like things put away. But in The Sims, it just makes sense. Like it looks nice. It just really brings it all together, and that's what I feel like some people are missing sometimes in their build. Sometimes just that little bit of accessories, and that little bit of like putting a cup here, putting books around, and putting some bags, because with family, is it Get Together? I can't remember which pack is it. I think it's in one of the packs where you get a backpack for the children, and you can just put that. And to be honest, they can take it to school as well, and then they can put it back out. So adding these little details makes a huge difference to your build, and that's the thing that I've learned the hard way. Although actually it was kind of the soft way. The thing that I had to learn the hard way was my camera angles. One thing I've realized is I don't like to zoom in on anything, and that's even with my architecture softwares, or like whenever I'm on Photoshop or whatever it is, I never zoom in. So I'm gonna try and also to work on that, because I generally feel like sometimes it's nice to see things from very, very up close. And for you guys as well, because you watch it, I don't know if you watch on smaller screens or bigger screens, and depending which screens you watch it on, it's better to have it as close up as possible. And yeah, like I was saying, I'm adding these little details. I literally put light switches. It makes a huge difference, like a huge difference. I didn't actually speak about the family. So long story short, there's a child, a girl. There is two boys, so there's a teen and adult, a young adult one, and there is a mother and a father, obviously. So that's why there's 4 bedrooms. And I thought about it. I was deep in it. I was like, I should have probably added a different bathroom, but because it's a tiny house, we need to bear in mind that it's gonna have to be one bathroom, which is why it's central, so that everybody can access it easily without a problem. I do know that the queue, as in quotation marks, queuing to get in the bathroom is going to be hectic in the mornings sometimes, but that's part of the game, it's part of the fun and everything. Going back to what I was saying about the fact that these bedrooms are very, very tiny, you don't actually get to have a lot of room for much. I had to use CC for this one, which is the QI wardrobe. I don't remember which pack is it from. But I needed to find something that was not gonna cluster up and make anything uncomfortable in the bedrooms, but make it very light and still breathable, which is why I use this tiny wardrobe in most of the main bedrooms. And I actually put a wardrobe outside where there's the plant, in case, because I thought it wasn't going to fit, but it fits perfectly. Everybody can walk around casually and nothing actually obstructs nothing. So I'm kind of glad how it turned out. And I actually added this rug in the little girl's room because I really wanted her to have area. It's a cute kind of pinkish bluish area, but the rugs actually allow you to dance anywhere, however. But then I quickly realized that it was not working. I don't remember if I actually took it off completely or not, but I know that I was like thinking about it long and short if I wanted to keep it there or not. And with children bedrooms in The Sims, it's kind of always hard to know what to put in because you have the toys and everything, which I kind of like, but I was not quite sure what kind of like child she was, so I didn't want to put too much stuff and then it would have been cramped up and not work. I just kept with the idea for her to have her own desk, which is kind of cool because then it's like she's have her own corner, she's the only girl, and then everybody else can just use the main desk in the hallway that leads to the bedrooms. And I'm adding just a little bits of like cute stuff to make it a bit more like kiddish room. I feel like there's still a lot of things missing for kids. Maybe it's in other packs and I'm yet to see it because at the moment I only have city living, for rent, eco lifestyle, what else do I have? Dine out, get to work, get together, and I think there's another one that I'm forgetting. Outdoor retreats. So I kind of chose the packs where I feel like I know that I'm going to use most of the items from it and not so much of the gameplay. Now I do a lot of game playing, especially when I do a house. I love that once I finish the house, the Sims can just use it and then I use it to make sure that it fits. And yeah, I do have a walkthrough at the end of this video for this one, but I tend to be more focused in terms of like speed builds or like anything like building. So that's why I chose these packs. But I'm considering buying other packs, not right now at the moment because I'm trying to get used to it. I feel like I jumped in the Sims like everybody else. Like I jumped really young, but I never had the time to play, or I never like the chance to play. So all the packs that I should have been getting years ago, I'm only getting them now. And the ones that almost striking to me, for instance, for rent, that's like the game changer for me, which I'm doing a let's play on for rent. I'm actually I made my sim self. If you haven't checked it, I do have a little video on it. I made my sim self and I basically made her become a landlord. So I'm trying to do rags to riches but into landlord, and that's kind of fun because it kind of aligns with like building and stuff like that. So stay tuned on that. We have now ended the dreaded part where I mean you kind of saw it back, but I was doing my so-called garden, quote unquote. It was pretty bad, honestly. As you can see, I was so short on money. I did not know what to do anymore. But I kind of kept it very simple at first because obviously I have an idea of what I want with this garden. I want it to be very lush and full of greenery with an actual growing gardening section where they can grow veggies and fruits. So I kind of already started and I was trying to do like some terrain tool, but it was not working. I said, you know what, I think I've had enough because I was doing way too much on that same day. But I kind of kept it very messy, in the sense where there's people that are here, there's definitely people living here. It's just that they're not really ready yet, they don't have stuff yet. But it's there, like it's quite there. And that's the thing with this house. It's a tiny house again, but like it has so much potential to be much more than a tiny house because of the lot. The lot is huge. Like, come on, let's face it. It's really, really big, and I could have done something else. But stay tuned for that because, like I said, I might be updating the house simply because I forgot to do certain things, but also because I realized something afterwards. I won't tell you, but now I'm finishing up with the roof. I love a skylight. We need to be able to do skylights. Now, I know there's people that do it with windows and stuff. I'm not quite comfortable with doing it with windows just yet because I haven't experienced it. I'm more comfortable doing it that way. So I've kept it this way for now. But I'll experiment with the windows because I saw people doing it with the windows and trust me, it looks so much better than what I just did. But then again, what I did is not so bad also. So right now I'm just getting a feel of how the house looks on side and around because Oasis Spring is kind of the world where it's very intricate for me. I never really know what I want to do with it, especially that there's a lot of empty spaces where you can add houses. And also one thing about Oasis Spring is I wish we had a beach instead of waiting for island living because it makes so much sense to have a beach there. But yeah, this is how the house will be looking right now. I know that I ended up fixing the terrain because I didn't like how it was looking. Yeah, as you can see right there. But this is where I left it off. So let's see how the house feels like when the Sims are inside. So the big surprise is out. The mother is actually pregnant, and I will be working again on this house because it's kind of a challenge for me personally. To make sure that you have a house for 6 people under 100 square meters. I do hope you enjoyed this video. That's probably one of my longest videos thus far. I now will be posting my rags to riches to become a landlord with myself very shortly. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.